Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Tim Lankford, and I am the National Sales Director here at Gordon Marketing. I'm hoping that that you were able to connect with us on Tuesday, so the next following welcome isn't applying to you or doesn't apply to you. But Happy New Year! We are excited to be bringing you our very first national conference call. And it is exciting. We are now over 40 states online with us, and we're still adding them every second, and that gives me a sense of humility. I appreciate your time. I thank you for plugging in and you saying that this is a valuable resource for you to allow us to help you go out and make it happen in your clients' lives. That's the purpose of this phone call. We are here, I am here to help you become an agent who is making it happen. And it's tremendous blessing to be able to have on our speaker this morning. He comes in about every 6 or 8 weeks. If I could, I would try to get him on here every week. He is that much of a shining example of what you can become. And I don't say that facetiously. My wife said that's a real word, so I'm counting on her that I've used that in the correct way. But I say that in all sincerity, that the results that our speaker has been able to produce here in 2015, and for that matter, Josh and I have been running together for about 6 years now. And he's won times, I've won times, and very proud of Josh and the type of team he is putting together. We'll go into that a little bit more in detail after we hear from one of the shining stars here on our team. We've got a gal who you've hopefully have appreciated hearing her voice instead of mine, but Becky not only is a lovely person, but she is a definite hard worker and talented. I had some folks say, gosh, Tim, can you put some other more updated video and music together? And that's what you just saw. Becky put together that video and the music, and she's on our IT staff, and she does a tremendous job of going over our leaderboard each and every Friday at 11 a.m. We're right here. So if this is the first time that you're connecting, we are here every Friday at 11 a.m. featuring an agent who is making it happen. And every Tuesday at 11 a.m., these are both Eastern times, every Tuesday at 11 a.m., we do a training webinar that will go out. You'll get a link on that this afternoon, and I'll send it back out again on Monday for you to link in on our training webinar. Do your best. I know many of you guys are connecting on just your cell phone with me this morning, but do your best to get connected in front of a computer on Tuesdays. I believe that it can make a tremendous difference in helping you, not only in just the mortgage protection field, but in life production. And we'll go into greater detail. I'm going to have some live phone calls, talk about phone calling and how that you can set with 70% of the people you talk to on the phone. That's only because I am talking of my record, of Josh Sivak's record. I'm talking about people who are in the field and who are proficient at doing this business and running leads. And again, you'll hear a little bit more from Josh about that. Becky, do I have you online with me this morning?
Yep, I'm here, Tim. Can you hear me okay?
You are coming through bright and clear. Becky and I are in two different offices, two different buildings for that matter. We're next door, but I wanted to just make sure that we were able to connect electronically. Becky, it is all yours.
Okay, Tim. So for the first week of 2016, our top annuity producers are, in the 7th place this week is Lisa Greenwald with one submitted annuity for $105,000. And number 6 is Rodney Jones with one submitted annuity for $117,000. And number 5 is Jonathan Acevedo with 2 submitted annuities for $127,000. Coming in at 4, we have Linda Theo with one submitted annuity for $135,000. Coming in at number 3 is Gary Schlesman with 2 submitted annuities for $136,000. In our second spot is Justin West with one submitted annuity for $148,361. In our top spot this week for annuity producers is Marge Wazinski with 11 submitted annuities for $907,350.
I'd choke on that one too, Becky. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'll move on to our mortgage protection leaderboards for the first week of 2016. Coming in at 15, we have Carl Bausloff with one submitted application for $1,466. Coming in at 14 is Michael Biggs with 2 submitted applications for $1,480. Coming in at 13 is Randall Lamont with 1 submitted application for $1,568. Coming in at the 12th spot is Frank Endress with 2 submitted applications for $1,615. Coming in at 11 is Fred Riddle with 2 submitted applications for $1,802. In the number 10 spot this week is Lenore Cortez with 2 submitted applications for $2,252. The 9th spot is held by Carrie Rail with 1 submitted application for $2,316. In number 8 is Millie Gailey with one submitted application for $2,414. In our number 7 spot is Jose Ramirez with one submitted application for $2,448. In number 6 is Andre Dames with 4 submitted applications for $3,359. In number 5 spot is Greg Greenwalt with 7 submitted applications for $3,889. Number 4 spot is held by Josh Savak with 10 submitted applications for $5,979. Coming in our 3rd spot this week is Mr. Tim Lankford with 5 submitted applications for $6,250. Our 2nd spot is held by James DeWitt with 1 submitted application for $19,200. And holding the number 1 spot this week is Charlie Stivers with 3 submitted applications for a total of $21,571.
Fantastic. Thank you, Miss Becky. And if you can stay on the line for just a second, Becky. Guys, you see or you hear how beautiful of a job and as pretty as a voice as Becky does for us each and every week. And then here in about a week or so, I think you know this, don't you, Becky? We are filming this afternoon a live mock in-home presentation. So you get to see Becky live and in person, well, taped and in person. Did you know that that we're doing that this afternoon, right, Becky?
Yep, and I'm prepared to do it.
Terrific. Well, thank you again, Becky. I appreciate you so much. Well, and that, just to do a little bit of real quick housekeeping here, connect to www.gordonmarketing.com and be able to you'll see a blue ribbon going side to side on our first main web page right there. Look for the Life tab, and when you hover your cursor over the Life tab, you'll see a drop-down box will populate. The first choice in there will be Mortgage Protection Selling System. If you click on there, you'll be able to access this recording. So all of our webinars and all of our conference calls are being recorded. So on that page, you'll be able to access podcasts and videos. Right now, I just have a little bit of our year-old, the first video that I did for Gordon Marketing, and anyhow, you'll see what is mortgage protection being revamped and minimized. So we moved from that 17-minute. We're going to put it together in about 8 minutes and broadcast it throughout YouTube. And then we're going to break down. We're going to have about 15 videos here in the next couple weeks of going over in-home, going over appointment setting, going over the 6 steps to the sale, and they will all be populated on that screen. Hopefully that the video whetted your appetite. I see several people online with us this morning who will be attending what you just saw in the prelude to our conference call. Playa del Carmen, we are taking quite a few agents. I want to say somewhere around 100 agents and their wives and significant others, friend, their choice, to go down to Cancun for a celebratory trip, just to say thank you for being a part of Gordon Marketing, hitting some sales marks. We have sales marks for our MedSups as well as on the life side. This year, guys, we're looking at $60,000 of premium. Josh and I have both. Well, I kind of hold this a little bit over Josh. I've hit 50,000 in a month a couple times. I think, Josh, haven't you? We'll bring him on the line here in a second, but I'm pretty sure he's hit over 50, but I know he's been many times in $40,000 of issue paid premium in 1 month, guys. It really can happen. And you don't have to spend $25,000 to make 50, which is still decent, but I do it on average of a $500 to $1,000 a week lead bill when I hit the 50,000. Now my lead bill is usually between $100 and $300, and I'm writing between $2,000 and $3,000 a week, 1 day a week. But it's not about me today. It's all about Josh. But that hotel we are taking our agents to in May, celebrating with about 24, 25 agents who are taken down to New Orleans here in just a couple weeks to celebrate those agents hitting 30 apps in the last few months of 2015. In the first 90 days, you should see a flyer on it this next week. In the first 90 days, you put in, I think we're going to be putting into that 20 apps or at least $15,000 of premium, and we'll send you and a guest, all expenses paid, out to a trip to Vegas. Some really exciting, fun things happening. And speaking of incentive trips, I tell you, Joshua is probably one of the best agents at saying, you know what, I'm going to hit that incentive trip, and he usually does it. Absolutely crazy with setting his year up and saying, I'm going to do this trip, this trip, this trip, and this trip. Josh, is that a fair description of you, sir? Josh, I've unmuted you. If you can hear me, maybe you've got something muted on your end. We'll go to the cell phone if we need to, but hopefully you can unmute yourself. Josh,
can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Hi, my friend. Did you hear my a little bit of a description of how that you go after these trips like a wild man?
Oh, yes, that is definitely true. I am a trip fanatic. It's like winning a bonus, and you might as well get the bonus at the end of the year for doing your efforts.
That's a good way to describe it. Joshua and Lena are two of the most special people in the world to me and Beth. They have two beautiful children. He just got a new baby girl. Some incredible things happened this last quarter between a new house and a new baby girl. Christian is his son. Was Christian, is he a little over 2 now, Josh?
Yes, he turned 2 in September.
Awesome. Joshua is, as I shared with you guys earlier, a shining example of what you can become. As far as if you're interested in consistently making 6 figures, just over $100,000, we've put the plans together in the last couple of weeks worth of webinars that you can access again on our website. $116,000 in 2016, Josh blew the doors off of that. In 2015, he did over $200,000 of personal income. Josh, is just kind of a big picture here at first, and I'm leaving it open for if you guys want to undock your question box, if you're connecting with us on the webinar, on the GoToWebinar on your computer, type in a question. I'll shoot it directly to Joshua, and that way you can get your questions answered. But Josh, kind of a big picture. Why mortgage protection? Why run mortgage protection leads? And I know sometimes that you'll even sneak in some final expense leads. What was the driving force for your success and how you've been building your business?
Sure, I'll gladly hit that. I just want to say it's an honor again. I guess I'm doing something right if I keep on getting invited back to talk to you all. I know there's a lot of you on here, and I know Tim's a very good friend of mine, and I enjoy helping others, so it's definitely a blessing for me to be able to talk to you all. And why mortgage protection? And that is a very good question, and I think this boils down to it's a market that is more or less untapped. Yes, other people are doing it, but it's not, I guess it's not flooded by agents. And let's be honest, most people do not like talking about life insurance. No one wakes up, no one just wakes up in the morning and be like, you know what, we need to get more life insurance. I mean, people have more insurance on other things, like for instance, cell phones. People have more insurance on their cell phones than they do life insurance, which is just crazy. But that's the purpose of mortgage protection. Is it creates a mirror. It creates not an illusion, but you talk about life insurance to somebody without really saying it, and that's to me that was the key, because we're insurance agents. I'm out there to help you with life insurance, but it's to protect your house. So now it's called mortgage protection, and people will purchase it based on the mortgage protection because again they're not thinking about life insurance. It's just like a brick wall people put up, and that's basically why I do it. The final expense kicks in a lot. I probably am about a 60-40. 60% of my business is mortgage protection, the term, the accidentals, where 40% are the final expense policies, which is either payment plans or burial policies, or just someone's just trying to add on to what they have. And I'm not sure what all you want me to go through here, Tim. If you just want me to take the reins and just go, or if you want
I do. We've talked about what I'd like you to share with our agents. I may interject a couple questions as I get them, but no, sir. I loved some of the things that you said you wanted to share with our agents this morning, and you go for it. It is all yours, my friend. I trust you implicitly.
Perfect. All right. So I'm going to basically go over the same talk I had with my guys this past Monday. All of us on the call, we are all self-employed. We're all in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. And just in case people can understand what I said there, you basically get to work when you want to. You create your own schedule. You're your own boss. But you have every possible help out there that you need. You have everything possible at the Gordon Agency. Tim will bend over backwards for you if you're working hard. You can head up there. They have all types of training. And the biggest question I had for my guys on Monday was, yes, 2015's over. We just started 2016. Past is past. Now let's look for the future. If you look back at it, since everybody is their own boss, you're technically the CEO of your company. So looking back at last year, would you fire your CEO for how the business was run? And what I meant by that is, based on what you did, I mean, if you were paying someone to do that, would you be happy or not? And I am very happy what we accomplished last year. By all means, I don't think anybody's ever really satisfied. Everybody really wants more. My goal was higher, but I still fell into where I'm very happy with what we did. And that's what we basically talked about now. And I basically say the same question to you all. If you look back and you were paying someone to do what you did last year, how would you feel about that? Would you want them to actually perform more, work harder? And it's the hardest thing because December, historically, as agents put it, is the worst month possible to sell insurance. Well, these agents I like to debate with because to me, December is the best month to sell insurance. It is cold outside. People are home. And then people start coming into excuses, why it's not a good month, why I shouldn't work, and why this and why that. I believe every single excuse is a reason why you need to do it. And Tim hit on it a little bit earlier. He said, I just welcome a new baby daughter. So she was born December 16th. Some people say, well, that's an excuse maybe not to work the last 2 weeks of the year. Be home with your family. She's the reason why I have to work. I want to make sure no matter what happens in this lifetime, anything that ever needs to get done is taken care of. My birthday is on December 19th. Again, and I'm trying not to offend anybody by all means. If I do, I apologize. It's not my intention. This is just my opinion. I believe most people, I think broke-minded people, believe birthdays are an excuse to take off. But I'll go back to the CEO question. How many CEOs of these very multi-billion-dollar companies do you think take off on their birthdays? Do you think they just, oh, it's my birthday, I'm going to take off, go out there and do it? Granted, there's some special birthdays out there by all means, but my birthday was the 19th of December, and that was the same day my daughter was getting discharged from the hospital. I'm very, very big on family. God is first, family second, work is third. So I don't want to make sure I don't get that confused. But I had a prior engagement for my birthday, which is we provide food for the hungry. As an agency, we provide the food and then the volunteer hours at a church to go ahead and cook it. So all morning for my birthday till 12, that's what we did. We fed, I think, 220 some people that morning. And then again, you have Christmas Eve, you have Christmas, New Year's Eve. These are all excuses why people give not to work. And you can tell by the, these numbers for the past week, that we read out range from 1,400 for 15th place with Carl up to Charlie, who did 21,000. And you can tell, like at the beginning of the year, people getting themselves off that holiday kick. I love December. I'm a trip fanatic. I focus hard on trips, and then it's just it's pressure. It's the same thing like anything else. What's sports without a championship? It's just you watching people play. Well, who cares which team's better if really records are not counted, no one has a Super Bowl to win or the playoffs. Same thing with us. Our Super Bowl, our playoffs, our championship is the trips. That's what dictates you as a person who sells insurance to a person who's elite in the insurance industry. So that's why I love the trips, because in December I focus hard to make sure I win them. This past December, my work week ends on Friday. So for December, I ended it on Christmas Day. So for December, I sat with 42 people. I sold 28 of them for 39 applications for $28,623. The week of Christmas, I did $7,000 that week alone. That was 2 days I worked that week. Actually, I'm sorry, 3. I saw someone Christmas Eve. So for the month of December, I did that. And then this past week, when they mentioned the 10 apps for $5,900, that was for the 2 days prior to New Year's. What is it, the 29th and 30th? And I think that's maybe the key why I'm talking to you all, is December is when most agents will shut it down. And I would say for this year, that's when you pick it up. By all means, take off for your family. I did that plenty for Christmas. I took off 4 days, 5 days, 4 days for Christmas, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, went back to work Monday. And then again, that week of New Year's, I took off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But it just comes down to, do you want to come up with excuses on why you shouldn't work, or do you want to come up with reasons why you should? And it all just based back to what you're trying to accomplish. And with December, it's the better you finish December, the easier it is to start off the year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You finish hard, the beginning of the season starts off a lot easier.
Josh, for one of the slowest months of the year for most agents, could you tell again, or could you quote one more time your annualized production? So guys, this is monthly premium times 12. The dollars, and most of you guys are anywhere from 75 to 100% contract. Being one of the more elite producers, Joshua, of course, is going to have a higher contract. So if on just a basic 100% contract, Joshua made what he issue paid. Josh, what did you issue pay in? Let's keep it with submitted numbers. What did you submit? Because most of Joshua's business, he's got over a 90% issue rate. But what did you submit in December?
I did 39 applications for $28,623.
Wow.
I sat on 42 homes. I sold 28 of them. So I averaged little over $1,000 per house I sold. I had a 66% sale rate and a 92% app count per house I sat on.
Sorry to interrupt. I'll let you run again. Go keep going if you can rethink your where you were going with that. But I wanted to really make a point of emphasis on that, of just the opportunity that all of our agents. We are now over 45 states listening into this call. So this is important to a lot of agents across the nation, Josh.
Do you want me to redo that again, or just keep on going?
We'll just keep on going. I loved where we were going when you started talking about the the lives that you're changing, and even maybe get into some more specifics. We probably have, I'd say, a good 30 agents on here who haven't been on the Friday call before, that I want them to hear maybe a little bit how you're structuring your week, how many leads that you're taking, and a little bit of the mindset that you have in the home would be some items that, as long as Josh can stay on, guys, I try to key this in around 30 minutes, but we'll probably go 11:45, 11:50. If you have to go, I understand. I'll see you leave, and God bless you. But we're gonna try to take as much time as we can with Joshua to help you as every way that we can.
Hey, now, what I was taught years ago, you should average just about 1 app per appointment you sit on. I'm not saying you're going to sell everybody, but you're going to get houses where you sell 2 and 3 or 4 if you got the kids app in there, if you do accidental added on to what they already got. And that's where that 92% app count counted for. This past week when they read off I did the 10 apps for $59.79, now I sat on 10 homes and sold 8 of them. So right there I averaged an app per home. And that's key. That's a key goal of mine, is to try to average that 1 app per home. Again, I'm not trying to sell an app per home, just the average out over out the numbers. But I'll get back to the excuses, and I'm not sure what all books you all read or are reading now, but once you come up with one excuse, it makes it so much easier to come up with other excuses why you shouldn't work. And that's where you start to get the spiral down effect, where you start taking off for parties, cookouts, and that's one of the big things you want to kind of nip in the butt quickly. Is you're working, keep that work schedule. Key to what we do is consistency. That's because even with Christmas and New Year's, that's why I work. Because any other job I would have worked at, I would have still had to work. I need to be consistent. I need to pretend I am being paid a salary to make sure I work Monday through Friday or whatever time frames you work. And that's the biggest key, is to stay consistent. As long as you stay consistent, it doesn't matter if you have a bad week or a good week, they're all going to average out for the year. And a while ago, I realized the market we're in. I mean, that was one of the biggest things, because let's be honest, we all have friends that do insurance. You all have people that may see you do insurance or find your information online, and we all get bombarded on trying to do all this new stuff, or someone's trying to convince you to try something new. I came to a realization that I do not want to bank my family's income on the 20% that everybody else focuses on. I want to go for the masses. This is why McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, this is why all these companies are so wealthy, because they focus on the masses. And what I mean by masses is our market is middle America. I'm not going to be going out there try to land that big fish, the $500,000 a month app. Look at my app count, 10 apps for $6,000. I'm looking for those apps. I'm on bigger ones, but I don't mind the 25, 40, 60, 80. Those are the apps that stay on the book. They don't fall off, and that's my marketplace. And I've come to understand that, and I know that, and I know I'm not going to try to venture much outside of that. Do I love it when I get bigger apps? Yes. However, I just came to the realization this is my market, focus on that market. And that's a big thing that most people, I guess, try to stray from. You just got to understand where you're being at. And let's talk about production here. Since the beginning of the year, I had this talk with a couple people multiple times. I tell people, look what you have for insurance. For instance, one of the big companies we sell is Phoenix. You got Phoenix, Mutual of Omaha, phenomenal mortgage protection companies. How many are all out there took out Phoenix's term policy? You got the critical, chronicle, and terminal. That's a phenomenal policy. So how many of you all out there took it out on yourselves? I went ahead before Phoenix dropped the down to $500,000 and still covered us for $1 million. I went ahead and took out $1 million a few months ago, pay $100 a month for it. So that brings my grand total up to, I think I pay a little bit over $300 now for my life insurance. And that's another key. I'm not saying, hey, look, I spent $300. I'm saying it as an example. I'm not afraid to ask people for $200, $300, $400, $500 a month policies if that's what they're trying to cover. I'm insured for that. I believe in spending a lot of money on policies. So for you all that maybe maybe might be focusing more on like $10, $20, $30, $40. Try to see what you're at for insurance and just try to increase what you have, because make it a lot easier, because I start high on everybody, $100, $150, and then it kind of brings it down to 60, 80, 100, wherever they fall for. But apologize, I kind of got off a little bit.
No, you're good. I'm going to ask you to do two more things, then please remember where you're going with that, because I want to interject a couple questions here with our agents. Tim Fox is asking, are you using simplified underwriting or all forms of underwriting?
Perfect. That was actually on one of my notes I wanted to talk about today, and I totally forgot to write that note down. All right. So, by all means, perfect question. Was it Tim?
Yes, Tim Fox.
Excellent. Thank you, Tim Fox. You got me where I want to talk to today. Now, don't you ever think that price is the king when it comes to insurance. Too many people believe the price is the majority thing that people purchase. People purchase you. What I mean by that is you don't have to go in there and try to do fully underwritten. I'm not a big fan of it. This past year, I don't know what my app count was for the year. Let's just say it was 300. I bet you maybe less than 5 of them I had to do a fully underwritten. I'm not a fan of them. I just don't like doing them. My issue rate is horrible, and it's kind of like I do it for free because I really don't get paid, because half of them don't go through anyway. So I always leave with simplified issue, no matter what. Phoenix has made this phenomenal for us, and I tell us the clients too. I think Phoenix is basically a hybrid. They are they're ahead of the curve. In the next few years, I think more and more companies are going to be doing what they're doing. Basically, they're giving you fully underwritten prices without the fully underwritten part of it. Yes, make sure you know your expectations. If anybody out there has not written in Phoenix, you have to know expectations. Typically, your simplified issue, a day or two, they'll get issued. They are very quick. If you're good at knowing what to submit, how to fill in the application, put down what they need to know, making sure the underwriter has everything they need. So, for instance, they don't have to do any phone interviews, anything like that. They'll get issued in a day or two. Phoenix, on the other hand, when you do them, you got two different choices. The one, they pull doctor records, so you got to expect 2 to 4 weeks at a minimum, sometimes 6. It just boils down to expectations, and you got to make sure it's not just your expectations. Granted, you're not doing insurance for free. You're out there to help somebody and provide for your family, but you got to make sure the client knows their expectations so that they know, what the whole process is. But I heavily rely on that free chronic, critical, and terminal that Phoenix adds to it. If you do not know what I'm talking about, please reach out to Tim. Or get online. They have all that information online. It is a very strong thing to have. I picked it up on myself just because I know it's a selling point, and it's something everybody should have. And this is why I wanted to go with this. That's why I wanted to talk about today. So I'm not telling you all to sell over the phone by any means. I do not sell insurance over the phone. We sell insurance in person. But you just got to get really, really good with the phone calls. So, and as an example, as I'm trying to set an appointment with somebody, and I'm assuming all you have had this happen in the past, I actually just picked that up last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it is. So I had a couple who signed up through somebody, and I just started asking questions. And I had to call back because they didn't know which company. So I called back, and they still didn't know which insurance company. They signed up with somebody, and I recognized the name from locally, and I'm like, that you applied for like a fully underwritten policy, how much it is. You're like, well, no, they said they'll tell us the price later and blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna send a nurse out to see you and before you get the price, and they're like, oh no, they're not. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they are going to. I'll tell you what, I'll call you back in 2 weeks, and then we go from there. So I call back in 2 weeks, and sure enough, that's what it was. And they are so far against doing the nurse visits. And when I first talked to them, knowing I had one chance only with these people, I did the thing you should never do, which is give out prices. But again, I didn't have a chance to do anything else because they wouldn't let me in their house. I gave them the Phoenix stuff. When I called them back 2 weeks later, which is this past week, I'm going out tomorrow to pick up a $370 a month policy because they do not want to do a physical. She says her husband hates it, doesn't like needles. So basically, that's a huge thing I want to talk about is know your products, know your companies. You can talk to someone. I can't tell you how many policies that I do through Phoenix because people apply for regular life insurance. They go through the physicals, and I convince them not to go through it. And you all have stories. Can I go over some stories, Tim, like Patrick Swayze and all that stuff, or no?
I'm going to ask you to probably focus in on this next question, and absolutely, you can go over there. But could you kind of give a quick on two things? First, can you kind of go through a quick rundown on the steps that you go through when in the home? Without,
Sure.
and this is so unfair to do, guys, because I'm going to be given 6 different videos that are each run 7 minutes that I'm going to be going over my in-home. But if you could try to kind of give us a quick rundown on that, Josh, that would be extremely helpful.
Perfect. Can I finish with the Patrick Swayze thing quick?
Absolutely.
I wasn't sure. All right. So I just want to take quick and then I want to jump into that because maybe you all are out there like, what's up with Patrick Swayze? So Patrick Swayze found out he had cancer because he applied for life insurance, estate planning. None of his doctors knew he had it, but when he applied for it, he had stage 4 cancer. We all know what happened to him. So it's one of the stories I tell people about physicals, how even though your doctor says you can be 100% healthy, medical is still just an art. It's not a science. They always miss stuff. I'm sure you all have clients who all of a sudden got diagnosed with these severe cancers that had checkups every 6 months. But let me get back to the in-home. So the in-home, you have to figure out, one of my biggest things for in-home is why am I there? It's one of my biggest questions right in the beginning. And what I mean by that is I do not want to talk to someone about something that has no weight on why I'm there. So, for instance, say someone just wants to cover in case they get hurt. Or let's say say someone just wants to cover in case they die. And then I go in this big spiel about in case they get sick, in case they get hurt, in case they have, you can't perform the 2 out of 6 daily activities. I start going over all this crazy stuff, and all they are concerned about is in case they die. So that's one of my biggest questions. That's why I start with that. Is here's a letter you sent in, and why did you send it in? What's the purpose? And another big question I ask in the beginning, especially for the mortgage protection, is find out if they refinanced or not. If it's a refinance, oh great, did you have this on your previous mortgage? If it's a new purchase, okay, if this is not your first home, did you have this on your previous mortgage? I like when people tell me they did. I try to find out who they had it through, so it kind of gets me a good feel for it. Because most people who said they had it in the past usually just had accidental. So now I can open that door up. Because again, you don't want to be going over everything and all of a sudden they turn around and say, wait a second, I had this on my last mortgage and it was $15 or $20, whatever accidental is. Now you have to re-backtrack, explain to them what they had, where you can catch it in the butt and do it right up in the front. So your purpose is ask questions. Questions are the king. That's what controls everything. That's what gets you down through everything. That's what gets you the ammunition on what to bring back to. Ask them who's going to get the house if they die. My whole first 5 or 10 minutes is just asking questions. I want to get to feel out what a person has, what type of life insurance they have. I go over, especially if it's an older couple, if he dies, what all do you get? What's the investments? What's the pensions? The better prepared you are to talk to someone on why they need to do it, the easier it is. My whole technique is basically I more or less get in someone's mind, and it becomes clear that it's their idea to purchase the insurance just because of how the questions I ask to them. So I'm not sure if that's what you want me to hit on, Tim.
Perfect. Now maybe to go through a little bit more as far as you'll move from there as folks will find my in-home fact finder is exactly what Josh is talking about. You go through in the first 15 minutes, you know whether you're going to be able to help that person or not. And then the following questions on that first page, you'll be able to find out their medical, their family, and that's exactly what Josh is going through. How do you transition from that into your pricing, Josh?
Sure. So I basically, as I'm talking to them, I'm in my head coming up with ideas on what I need to do for them, which company I'm going to use, which product I'm going to use, time frame wise, the whole 9 yards. So after asking what they want, I basically just pick out the company and tell them, okay, this is what it is. I'm not sure how many of you all out there, there's a lot of different ways to do this. I know what I've always done and what I'm comfortable with. I've tried a couple of different ways, but I'm comfortable with one price. If the person says they want to make sure if they die for 30 years that the house is paid for, that's all I'm going to give them. 30 years, bam, there's the one price. And as soon as I tell them, I'm instantly looking for some type of reaction, whether it's verbal or whether it's body language.
Josh, we've lost you. I hope you can still hear me. Oh, do we have you back?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can now.
What part did you miss? What did I jump off?
Just the last sentence.
Okay. So I'll ask somebody, just feedback. Give me some feedback. But that's my technique. I said I start with one price. What most people have success on is 3 prices. Give them the 3 options. Maybe start high, give them medium, give them low. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. When I was doing it that way, you'd always kind of draw, which one of these will work good for you, and just draw a big, thick line to the middle one. And 90% of the time, people pick the middle one just because it's how it is. But my transition is basically, it just kind of just flows right into it. As I'm sitting there talking to them, asking them questions, finding out what they want, and I just basically give them what they want. I'm big on the questions and big on just giving them exactly what they ask for. Most people will do it. I do not shop companies. I repeat, I do not shop companies. The whole month of December, I focused on one company so I could win their trip. So do the same thing. If you are comfortable with one company, do one company. You don't need to go out there and start, here's Mutual of Omaha's price and here's Phoenix. Which one do you like? Pick one, start with that one, and then you go off of that one if you have to. But just focus on one thing. The more information you will give to that client, the more you're going to confuse them, the more chances you have them turning around and saying, we need to think about this. You know what? It's like, you know what, Tim? This is a lot of information, some good information you gave us. We're going to, read this tonight, diverge, and pick which one we want to go with. That's why you want to just stick with one. One is king, and then go from there.
Perfect, and that's exactly what everyone keeps hearing from me. I like to use 75% of the mortgage to quote an accidental, 75% of the mortgage to quote the life. I add them together, and I say, okay, John, for $250,000 of coverage, this is going to cost you $75 a month. Joan, if I'm sitting with a wife, I do the same thing with her. And I say, guys, for a total investment of $125, you have $500,000 of coverage. How does that 120, whatever the amount is, how does that $125 work in your monthly budget? And then I totally shut up. Josh, so we are 100% on the same page there. I just like to add in that accidental at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was taught by one person a while ago that accidental could be a open-end and close. It can be a tester. You can test the water, and I do that not all the time, but the majority of the time. I'll lead with that in the beginning. You just say, just to feel them out, see if they like accidental or not. They like it, because you can usually get them for $20, give or take. And I'm not saying that's all you want to do, but it's an open close. Hey, what do you think? Blah 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 blah. If you don't have anything and they want to do it, you do the app, and then you go right back to mortgage protection, cover them for no matter what. But that's the key with it, is you just feeling out the water. That is all it is, and just seeing where a person wants to be at. I mean, I could probably go on for hours about in-home.
I know.
All the
We really could, couldn't we?
oh, yeah.
But let's
I know.
go
Yeah.
to talk about, and then we'll use this in just the last couple minutes. We'll close up here. Oh gosh, this is so rich, guys. I hope we've literally got everybody still on the line with us, Josh. What is your average lead cost each week to be able to do now on personal production? What do you think where did you end up at dollar wise personal production? And then because I know you're building a team and you have overrides, which I continuously encourage all of our agents to do, guys. But on average lead cost and your personal production, where are you at approximately on that?
Well, the craziest thing was again, now you're reminding me. I wanted to talk about that earlier. Now, I don't have my year for last year, all that stuff done. I'm just going to go back to December for you all since we talked about that earlier. Hang on.
That's a good place to start and probably maybe close with that there. Yeah, what kind of lead bill did you have for yourself personally to produce almost $30,000 of income on an average agent's commission level?
Give me 1 second. I had everything pulled up on my phone because I was going to go over my 4 weeks in December, what each bill was each week. See if it pops up again. Okay, now for the month of December, again, I sat on 42 homes, still 28 of them. I did 28,000. Why is it not popping up? 28,623. And I had my 4 weeks down here. If I can't get it pop up here, I can go over what I thought I remembered. 1 week was 900 some dollars. Up here, I think this popped up. Here we go. $782.80 was 1 week. The week before that was last week of December. The week before that, it was where are you at? $618. The week before that was $906. And the week before that, I think, was $375. But that's my 4 weeks worth of lead bills. So you're probably talking about, give or take, what was it, $2,500, maybe $3,000 total.
13.
So let's just say it's $3,000.
$2,681, so $2,700.
Mm-hmm.
So you times 10. So you spent you spent one tenth to make 90%. You make goodness, that's huge. That's a wonderful ROI. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh no, you're fine. And usually I tell people 1 for 5 is great. But with mortgage protection, you should be close to that 1 to 10 mark. Yes, the leads are expensive. Yes, you invested quite a bit of money onto it, but the return on it is crazy. I wanted to go over that earlier. And I'm not sure how many people out there are like me, who are like, oh, this person is writing all that production. I wonder how much they're spending on leads, just so you can see the difference.
Exactly. And I don't want people to feel like I don't want a new agent on our team to go out and say, okay, I need to do a $900 lead bill. I won't let you do that. We won't, because we don't want you behind the 8 ball. I want to encourage you and be able to after how many be ables can I put in there? I want you to be able to have a consistent growth. Maybe we start you out on just some aged leads that you spend $100, $200, cut your teeth. Joshua is a seasoned agent. He can do this with that type of return. Now, we've had some shining examples just a few months ago with Ginger Barnes on the Doug Boyd team out in Kansas that putting out just $300, $400, $500 and making over $10,000. That's wonderful. But yeah, let's start with some age leads and build from there. If you want to start on a new program, if you are a seasoned agent, I don't want a new agent starting on new age. Joshua, this has been tremendous. I appreciate your time so much, and it means, guys, if you just on the average week of 40 hours a week divide $200,000 a year by 40 hours a week, think of that kind of hourly rate that Joshua just gave to you. He gave that to you. Go make something of it. Josh, any closing words before I close us off here?
Sure. Um, nah, Tim is a very good friend of mine. I have that respect for him, his family, Hague Rd agency. I will let it open if you guys want to email him. If anybody wants to invest in themselves and fly to Virginia Beach, they can come down here, listen to me dial, and I'll take them in the field with me. You can watch me.
Really, Josh? Wow, that's huge. If you're really offering that, you want to think about that?
I mean, I have no benefit. I don't benefit at all from it,
Ouch.
but
Okay,
I know
that's huge, Josh.
a lot of people have helped me, and if I can help others, said if you reach out to Tim if it's something you want to do. Tim can help you organize it all and get a hold of me. But yeah, my door's open. I open it to anybody down here, and if anybody wants to fly in, I will gladly take them out in the field if they want to go with me and see what I do. I mean, just help out anybody else. I mean, that's all I can do. I mean, I enjoy helping, and I can help someone else change their lives or someone else's. I'm all for it. But I appreciate it, Tim. Thank you for having me on. You all have a happy New Year.
Fantastic. Joshua, in so many ways, make sure you please tell Lena that we say hi, that we love her, and many, many congratulations on a new baby. Guys, that's huge what Josh just said. You want to contact me, and we won't take advantage of Joshua's time in a negative way, but if you are proven to me that you're ready to run with this thing, then that is huge for you to go and spend some time with Joshua, and to be able to listen to him on dial, his dial team, and as well as be in the field. And I've also extended that, and I've had about a dozen agents take me up on that because I still write this business on Saturdays. I just do that one day a week now, and did right around six figures for 2015 writing this one day a week. So we know what we're doing here. We want you to not only be in a place like you see on your computer screen with us next May, but those who are going to be with us this May, hey, high fives and hugs go all around. Every webinar on Tuesday, every conference call on Friday, I implore, encourage, cajole you to go and make it happen for your income. Go and make it, number two, go and make it happen for your family. Number three, which takes care of the first two, if you take care of number three, go and make it happen for your client. I want you to be an agent who's making it happen. Connect with us on Tuesday. We're going to go over the appointment setting, a phone call. I'll have live phone calls. You'll hear me right on the cell phone. I'm going to dial it up, even if it may be a hang up. I still have those two guys. I'm going to do live phone calls, so you'll hear how I'm responding to some objections, how I set appointments. We will have some fun on Tuesday. Next Friday, we're going to do this call all over again with another phenomenal agent who is making it happen. Matter of fact, right here in Indianapolis, somebody who's putting together a team, and you'll hear from our agent here next Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and I wish each and every one of you God's blessings.